Headlines from
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, and this is the Community Solidarity Response Network. It's our video minutes. It's when we come together every week. We took a week off last week, but we're back on to talk about some of the things that we've done in the past, some of the things that we're doing right now, and some of the things that we have coming up in the future. And as you see, my brown skin, I've got a blue hat on, pullover. And as always, dedicated to respecting and protecting all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our mission statement. Jody, if you could read our mission statement, and then we'll have Julian start out with our guiding principles. You ready?
All righty, ready as I can be. Glad to see everybody back from election week, and just going to call it election week. First, before we get into our mission statement, I am a brown-skinned, cinnamon-toned bear of a man, covered in crystals and stones from all around the planet. I wear clothing that is representative of my community, my entrepreneurs, and the people that actually need resources donated to them from clothing and stuff like that. I am covered also in tattoos, and I have piercing and stuff like that. My pronouns are him, he, and we. Again, before I get into the mission statement, thank you to everyone that went out and voted. No matter how you voted, you have proved that if there is enough initiative, if there is enough reason, people will get out, and whatever the outcome is, thank you for using your voice. And this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, and provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politicians, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter. Black lives must matter. An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And also we have Julian Mack, who serves as our spokesperson to read our guiding principles, with, of course, introducing yourself, what you have on, what you look like. All right?
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Julian Mack. I am a peanut butter brown skinned man with a husky dog face mask on that I'm very excited about showing off today, as you can tell by my dog smile. All right. That's it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. It's been we missed a week, and I'm all off.
It's been like a month.
It feels like a month. Okay, here everything we do is grounded in principles, right? We're just not out here moving based on feelings. It's grounded in principles. So here are our CSRN guiding principles. 1, all Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, Black immigrant lives, Black elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter. We are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
Thriving instead of surviving. The world, our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we are currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not to just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct and loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love and self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be the driver of our work and the indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor the past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundation of the movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a consistent, intentional, regular, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own life and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling our stories directly. Ashe.
Ashe.
And leadership and development, training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and our leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe.
Hey, listen, everyone. We're going to take a quick 2 minutes. I want you to stay tuned. CSRN Video Minutes. Come on, right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Okay, I'll try and remember everything.
All right.
All right.
And I'm going to bring some.
Hey, we're
All
back.
right, we're back. All right, we want to thank our producer in the booth that always gives us a heads up when we're back live. All right, okay, heads are gonna roll. All right, hey, listen, it's awesome being back. And if you're watching this, be active in our chat with any questions that you may want to ask. Be active in our chat because we want this to be, a dialogue, not just one way. So, having said that, we want to get right into our video minutes. We want to talk about our Get Out the Vote election 2020 recap.
Yes.
We're going to be asking Julian about that. We're going to be asking Julian about his city council run in 2021. And also, we're going to be talking about some of the things that are coming up in the near future. Julian?
Yes.
Can you, what are your thoughts? All right, obviously, we've been going too long.
What happens when you take a week off?
When I lobbed it up, all right, he just looked at it.
Look at you
What
like a
do you-
husky.
Right. It's got to be the face mask. All right, it's got to be the face mask. Usually, we're on it, so you get a chance to see us as we're getting back to fine tune. Get that. No, we're more than. All right, Joey.
All right.
Hey, election 2020.
Yes.
To get out the vote, we were part of that.
Yes.
We also, people have been asking me, what's up with this city council run that you're going to be a part of next year, and what are some of the things that you've seen us do these past few weeks?
Okay, there's a lot there. So we'll start at the last election, right? So one of the things that we did is we did a get out the vote effort. Shout out to Shaylee. Shout out to some of the women from Toledo Together. Shout out to some of our brothers and sisters with Jet, who helped us get out the vote.
That's right.
And thank you to Reem for connecting us with the right people so that we could empower some of these local activists. But we did get out the vote. We passed out lots of literature, and it was a nonpartisan effort. And one of the things along that line I wanted to highlight was the importance of the Black vote. Right over Jody's head, you'll see a sign. Well, you'll see half of a sign that says Black votes win elections. All right, now it's printed before this election, but it's very, very true. Right. There's a lot that can be said about the Black vote. I'm sorry, I can't even deal with looking at myself. There's a lot that can be said about the Black vote in this particular election and how it won. Right. It wasn't Michigan. We're not just talking about Michigan, we're talking about Detroit. We're not just talking about Pennsylvania, we're talking about Philadelphia. We're not just talking about Georgia, we're talking about Atlanta, right? And these were not won by the elites in the Democratic Party, all right? These were won by activists and organizers on the ground level, just like us and Ruth, and so many others, right? Just like we had a get out the vote effort, so many others in all of these cities did too. And that is really what was the difference maker in this election. So, I want to make clear to all the powers that be that that's not for nothing.
That's right.
Okay. Joe Biden has been put in office by Black people. Okay. He won the South Carolina primary due to Black people, and he won the election due to Black people. And we, as we enter into Black November, things like the Breathe Act, we're going to be looking for passage on a national level, and we're going to be looking for passage of legislation that can transform our communities. And we're already getting organized for that action now. We're not going to wait and go to brunch. We're going to be proactive in pushing him on day one, January 21st. 2021, as soon as he gets inaugurated, for legislation that positively impacts the Black community to be passed. Because I don't think you'll see us, you won't see us, I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. There were some other things that happened. So there was the count every vote effort, right? So one of the things that you've heard us talk about in previous lives was the count every vote effort. We predicted exactly what Donald Trump would be doing, and to protect the results. Let me get this right here. Count every vote, right? And protect the results. Okay, we knew very early on that, based on what Donald Trump has said, that he would try to interfere with the people's will in this election, right? And sure enough, on election night and thereafter, he was saying, count the votes in Arizona and stop counting the votes in Pennsylvania, right? And he even sent out, fake activists and fake conservative organizers to try to interrupt the vote count less than an hour away in Detroit. Okay, and this is real. That same effort, right, which is known as the Brooks Brothers riot in Miami-Dade County, ended up throwing off the entire election to and making it so that the votes were not counted in Miami-Dade County in 2000, which very likely would have changed the result of the 2000 election. So we were prepared ahead of time to prevent that from happening. We had been preparing for at least 3 weeks prior to this election for that type of nefarious activity. And so I want to give a special shout out to, this coalition that we built with Our Revolution. If I start giving in shout outs to each groups, I don't want to miss any, but New World Order was there. So we had a direct action outside of One Government Center the day after the election. That was Our Revolution. There was New World Order. That was
Toledo persists.
Toledo persists. That's it. Toledo persists. Indivisible Toledo. Justice, equality, Toledo. And a lot of good individuals that came out just to celebrate also. And so we're grateful for that. You know, I want to add that the progressive movement. Sorry, this might be a little longer meeting today because there's several things to talk
That's
about.
okay.
I feel them. I feel you, brother Washington.
Okay.
I feel.
All right.
Okay.
You know, we can meet next week.
Okay. All right. But there's like we haven't been in this position where we've had a left and a progressive movement locally that's been so interconnected and ready to push people. And we've had the capacity to be able to collaborate with so many other diverse cross sections of people, and that's really what's made this go right over the past couple of weeks. And so I thank all of those people that are part of this diverse coalition. And we'll talk about my city council race some other time, right? But I also want to give a shout out to Earl Mack, who did not end up winning the election, right? But you know, made history, you know, by running. And Katie Moline beat Tony Dia, and Pete Gherkin beat Ron Murphy in his race to run. So, you know, we are moving forward and figuring out what we have to do to engage citizens on city council to make sure that we can get some progressive legislation passed and make sure we can get some police reform passed as well.
All right. Hey, look, it looks like I'm getting the break sign. Hey, listen, we're going to come back. Let's take at least 2.5 minutes this time. All right, to get some things together. And also, that was New Order Civil Rights Organization.
New World Order.
No, New Order.
New Order.
New World Order. New World Order.
That's the
That's the thing that we're fighting.
Okay, sorry about
That's the thing
that.
that we're fighting, but we're talking about our brother Joe Rose,
Yes, right.
and New Order Civil Rights Organization,
Right.
Human Rights Organization, Human Rights Organization,
Yes.
and everybody, Sister Dotson, you know, and everybody else that organizes, Sabrina, and everybody that organizes, Brother Joe Johnson, everybody that organizes together here in Toledo, but it's New Order, Human Rights Organization. They gets it in. Hey, listen, come on back. I'm taking a short break. CSRN Video Minutes.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
If you want to donate,
guys.
Hey,
Wait,
we're
let me
back.
get us
Get it
all in
together.
there.
Get it together.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
What's up, people?
Hey, we got a treat for you. We got Ruth Leonard, who is the lead of our administrative core. Whenever somebody has to decide if it's yay or nay, up or down, right or wrong, it's Ruth. And as we always say, when we do a good job, of course, CSRN gets the praise. But when that stuff goes sideways, you already know who we're putting it on.
You gonna have to come up with a new introduction for me.
I know, but man, you're just so strong. Just so everything.
Let's go ahead and
all right. Hey, look,
move
Ruth.
along.
Hey, look, Ruth. We want to talk to you about the Citizen Review Board.
Okay.
We want to talk to you about the Black Lives Matter billboard. We had a GoFundMe, and what are your thoughts on that?
Okay.
And people have been asking me, where can I get CSRN stuff? Do you guys got wristbands? Do you got water jugs or water bottles? You know, where can I get that? And lastly, on our page, our profile picture changed to Black November, and it says all Black Lives Matter and justice or else. Where did that come from? So you got a lot, and I'm just saying this is what people have been asking me.
Oh.
I asked them to tune in.
You're so nosy.
I know to hear it from you, because there ain't no snitch. Hear it from you. So Ruth, what's happening with the Citizen Review Board?
Alrighty, so the Citizen Review Board is still we're still encouraging everyone to go and sign the petition. If you have any questions about what the Citizen Review Board is, it is actually ironed out very well on the change.org/refund Toledo. We are now well within the first few months of the new city council members, so we are starting to look at how do we build those relationships in order to have really honest conversations, so that the members of city council understand what it is that we are looking for, so that this initiative can go on however they create their list of things to vote on for their what?
Committees, I believe.
Yes, whichever committee that can be directly responsible for it, that's going to be the ones we reach out to, so that we can start moving forward. We've had a lot of time between May 30th, which is when we had our gigantic rally and march, to have some form of civilian review board put in place. We've gotten incremental changes, things like moving the police or moving the internal affairs out of the police station, so that if you do have an issue with the police officer, that you can have your issues heard without being surrounded by police officers. We also passed the Right to Know Act, which was the mandate that police officers have to give their business card to anyone who asks. However, we've seen now, as we've seen throughout history, the fact that police officers operate under a different set of rules and laws. We've had police officers who have walked into people's houses recently. We've had police officers who, when asked, and walked into their house just off the strength of walking into their house, not to provide any sort of aid or anything like that. And then when walking out, say things like, you should lock your doors. Like, that's not how police officers are supposed to operate. We've had police officers who have refused to give their cards to citizens when asked for it. So we know that we are in a fight, in a fight that is not going to be easy. We are trying to destabilize over 400 years of racialized systemic oppression. And so right now, what we are still looking to do is to continue to move forward with the Civilian Review Board, to make sure that we have an opportunity to have the voices of the public heard. So please, please, please go to change.org/refund Toledo.
All right. The next thing that people were asking me about, was we had a Black Lives Matter billboard.
Yes.
We started it early October, and we had a deadline.
Yes.
Of October 31st.
Yes.
We met the deadline.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
What are your thoughts on that whole process, Ruth?
Oh my gosh. So I think that it shows the power of community. And it shows that when we decide that we are going to do something, we will not let anybody turn us around. And I am a huge fan of Negro spirituals, and so that's like one of my favorites. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. And when we initially had the idea to put up the billboard, we knew that it was going to be something that we wanted to continue well past the initial month. And so we went to the community and we asked the community to support us in this endeavor. And just like always, the community showed up and we were able to meet our goal of, how much was our goal?
$1,500.
Yes, the community came through with $1,500. So thank you each and every person who shared the post, who donated to the GoFundMe. If you are driving down Anthony Wayne Trail, then you can now see our Black Lives Matter billboard. I think it's kind of an intrinsic goal of ours to move that billboard around the city, because we want to let every single person know that in Toledo specifically, or in Ohio even, Black Lives Matter. And so it can be done with a shout or it can be done with a billboard. And I am so proud to know that that billboard has gone from Toledo, or CSRN's own Black Lives Matter way, which is the corner of
Bancroft in Detroit,
to the Anthony Wayne Trail. So thank you again, everyone, for donating. Thank you, everyone, for believing in our goals and helping us to accomplish them.
All right, I'm getting another question about what's the meaning of Black November and how can people donate and get CSRN gear?
So Black November, Brother Washington always be putting me on the spot. Black November is honestly, it is our own belief, if you will. I'm not sure if there's any historical context, but for CSRN, it's always been a time for us to come together and really talk about all of the goals and accomplishments that happen this particular month.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also, and again, this is my own interpretation of it, I think it's also a time where we use our collective power to achieve our goals. And so we already saw it. Black November is starting off beautifully because we already see with the removal of Donald Trump from office through the election, and the election was won by Black men and women. We see and we know that throughout the month of November, this is a time to come together with your family. If you choose to celebrate Thanksgiving, this is a time to celebrate the Black men and women who gave their lives on Veterans Day. This is a time that we can really just celebrate ourselves, because oftentimes we already know you have Black History Month and then that's it. And so we want to keep the love and the importance of the humanity and the integrity and the love and the joy of Blackness all year long. And so that's where I see Black November as, or that's what I see it as.
And one of the principles of the Nguzo Saba is Kudishagali, and that's self-determination. We could take any month and make it Black.
Hey.
We just happen to take November, all right? We'll take December if we want to, but we'll wait, all right? Just hold on.
Now, it's coming.
Right, now, what I wanted to ask you next, people have also been asking me, how do they donate toward our cause, and where can they get some CSRN gear?
So our CSRN store is open. If you go to csrntoledo.com and you click on the tab that says Shop CSRN, that is where you can find everything from yard signs. We have the glass and bamboo water bottles. We have wristbands, we have buttons, we have stickers, we have keychains, we have, what else do we have?
Yard signs, buttons, stickers, t-shirts.
Right.
We got some t-shirts.
Oh yes, and soon we will have t-shirts.
All right.
So we are building up our store. What did you say, Judy?
And we still have the Black Fist, the glass Black Fist that you can
Yes.
purchase. We just have to
Or the Black
put the
Power
link on there.
Fist.
Yep. And that's from Gathered Glass in Toledo, Ohio, which are great supporters of us. So, yeah, that'll be on the website soon enough, too.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
shout out together.
Oh, and then also there's another very special announcement. I don't know if Julian wants me to tell this.
So you want to do it after the break?
After the break.
Okay,
'Cause
we'll do it after the break.
Right. I see they're waving their hands. Hey, we got to cut the commercial. So, hey, look, what we'll do now, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back. We've got Jody. We've got some other things that we want to discuss. So stay on top, stay connected with us. CSRN Video Minutes.
Compressor.
Oh man.
I can't.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Hey, we're back. This is CSRN, Community Solidarity Response Network. As you know, I'm Brother Washington. One of the things that we wanted to discuss is some of the things that are going on in our community, not only community violence that's happening, but also there are people out there that's really getting it in on the ground level, the grassroots level, planning things so that we can come together and unify. And Jody, can you talk about that? And also, if you could talk about what does that have to do with art in the art movement in Toledo?
Okay. Well, actually, I'll go take on those and one other special subject, somewhat dealing with the election. But first off, thank you for everybody that's still continuing to do the work through the pandemic, through the election, through everything else. One thing we forget about is we fight so hard as adults is that there is a whole generation watching us, seeing how we deal with things, seeing where our focus is, and a lot of times it's not on them. A lot of times, especially over the past couple of weeks, it's been over the election, and we still have missing kids, we still have asylum seekers, we still have, and my condolences, I think I can comfortably say all of CSRN's condolences to King Von, the shootings and the other people that were injured and lost their lives for the shootings over on Parkwood. That is still a systemic case of basically it's something we're not going to be able to get over overnight, not through an election, not through stuff, but there are people doing programs like, of course, Brothers United. We have the program, we have the Arts Commission that has Young Artists at Work, which they did a great thing for momentum since we couldn't actually be out there for artists. They had downtown covered in people's arts. There was a art gallery out at Owens celebrating Black lives and what it means to be in the society and a youth. So I think that is very good. Shout out to the library, which is open, but still, I mean, of course, we have social distancing and all that stuff, but they've got great programming going on that involves kids in their neighborhood. I'm, I guess, one of the subcontractors or something like that with the posters and that, looking forward to doing the second step of that. Also, my condolences go out to the family of Rance Allen. Since the last time we met, there has been a lot of people and celebrities, and actually good people that you could look up to. I know this is kind of off topic, but as a kid growing up, I always watched it. It always kept my brain working and everything like that. So my condolences go to Alex Trebek's family for Jeopardy, for something that's intrinsic in every society where you need to engage yourself in things that you can't find online, like picking up a book, like learning about a place that you don't know, or language, or food, or even the things that that generation brought up that helped me, like PBS and stuff like that. Transitioning into that, shout out to the Hill event that is still going on this Sunday, Wilson Park. This will be the third event. There's some stuff on our page. I posted it earlier. There's some stuff on my page. The other day, the Arts Commission, kind of them. The what is it? The Health Commission or Youth Commission? There's no Youth Commission, but the I cannot think of
Human relations.
Human relations. Yeah. Shout out to Gretchen and everybody else. My dude who started this program because he lost a family member and he wanted to do more. Malik, everybody that's involved in that. I'll be there a little late. I have to work, but it's from 2 to 4 o'clock. They have turkey giveaways. They have a social distancing contest. They have DJs, and of course, speakers that will be trying to engage with everybody. So shout out to all of that going on in the community. One special note for us here at CSRN, I did a lot during the pandemic, and one of my commissions just finally got back to me. I was asked to submit some pieces on what it means to be Black in America during COVID and how that affects us as a culture. This is a large chunk of my work, not only published in books, which the second volume, which does deal with Black Lives Matter and my work on the stage and work in activism, will be on your shelves at the Ohio Library System in like another 2 weeks. So you'll be able to pick that up for free. But one of the pieces that you see me do during 5 Minutes of Heat, Criminal Needs and Beat the Drum, which is also today's 5 Minutes of Heat, have been submitted into a national it's the anthology. That's what it is. So we are in an anthology now because Beat the Drum is about us and the work that we've done here. So I thank the supporters. I thank the donators, because in the beginning it was just, hey, can you submit some work and we'll put it in this anthology. I got the message back yesterday that they believe in art so much that now we all got a commission from it. Now, that's out the way. So just to kind of give you a little bit of the election, because I know normally you hear that from Julian and stuff like that, but I think it is my responsibility, being an elected official, being a poll worker, which most people did. There we go. Which most people did not get to see, just to kind of give you that experience of what election day looked like, not from the sidelines and the protesters, the demonstrators, or the protect the vote people, but actually as a poll worker who got there at 5:30 in the morning and left at 9:30 at night. That 16-hour day taught me something that I did not see in my previous election as a poll worker. The amount of volume that people came out was beautiful. The fact that you can see a lot of stories on the news and hear how people were inside, it was nice. We didn't have any problems. One story that struck me out, because through my life in different organizations, we always got to try and pick something that impacted us. Right at the beginning, probably around 11 o'clock, a guy came in. We had 5 poll stations set up so you can get your ballot and everything. He had a seizure after he got his ballot. Literally had a seizure after he got his ballot. We called the ambulance, did all the proper medical procedures and everything. When they got him back to a stable condition, they asked him, do you want to go home? It's okay, we understand. He said no. They literally picked him up, took him to his voting machine, and let him vote. That is how strong the act of trying to do something, no matter what side of the line you're on, because we had church bells ring in Paris for the first time, and I'm kind of happy for that, but how much it means to voice your opinion. So thank you to the 140 some million people that actually voted. Thank you to the people that are still right now counting votes, protecting votes, trying to stop you from believing false lies because a tyrant has been toppled. And other than that, thank you for always continuing to check in with us, because even though we are kind of on this side of gray where we do work in many different fields, it means a lot to us that you connect with us, that you get in our comments. So shout out to Joe, shout out to Sarah, who was one of my Uber drivers, who told me she actually watches this. So if you're watching today, thank you for watching. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for all the power and ancestral love that you give us so we can keep pushing forward.
All right. Hey, listen, Jody, I think that we're going to take a short break. When we come up, we're going to kind of wrap things up. It may take a few minutes because we've got a lot of information to share from different protests and different, things that we've been involved in. So let's take about a 2-minute break. We'll come back, wrap up. This is CSRN Video Minutes. Hang on in there. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
We're back.
Ruth?
All right, we're back. This is CSRN. These are video minutes. And as always, we come together every Tuesday, 6 p.m. and talk about some of the things that we've done in the weeks before, some of the things that we're doing at this moment, like being a part of the Citizen Review Board, being a part of the art scene here in Toledo, and the activist culture and the activist community. Those are things that are going on right now. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to talk about some of the community violence that's been happening, some of the people that's been affected. And I really wanted to bring up Victor Dale Jr. We can, of course, our hearts go out to everyone on a national level that's impacted by police violence. And we wanted to talk about some of the things that's near and dear to our heart. Victor Dale Jr. Julian, where are we regarding Victor Dale Jr.? We know that there was some type of verdict. There was some type of punitive, minimum punitive things that went on with the police involved. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, so they announced so just under 2 weeks ago, I think the Oregon Police Department and Mike Navarre announced that there wouldn't be any charges against the police officers. Now, I just want to make clear what happened. There were 21 shots fired at Victor Dale Jr. 2 of them hit him. The police were excused for 3 of those 21 shots, and the other 18 essentially they got in trouble for. And their punishment was 14 days suspended without pay. I think a total of 30 days off of work, and they're going to be retrained with how to use their firearms. So that's nowhere near what we call justice. Just keep it real. I don't think there is any circumstances where me or Brother Washington or Jody or Ruth could shoot at someone 21 times and avoid any type of punishment, and so it hurts. It hurts. It is why we do this work, to really try to prevent this exact situation, which we see in other places, from happening right here. But also I don't know. One of the things you said, Brother Washington, is we're not sure if we even get those 2 weeks of suspended without some of the direct action that we did, right? Which is I find it to be a hard pill to swallow, but is the case.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Deal with it.
And so as we continue to try to build power to protect our community, we definitely keep Victor Dale in mind, in our prayers and in our heart. And we're happy that he is alive, but we fight like hell for him. You know what I mean? And with him, right? Shout out to Victor Dale Jr. He survived, this attack, and he had the courage to show up at the Oregon police station to protest his own justice, right? Which is an incredibly heroic, courageous act that I think deserves all the attention and accolades in the world, to be able to do that. And so we want to definitely uplift him, right? There's also in another incident over the past 2 weeks, where the police did a knock warrant, and SWAT team shot a dog and had a rubber bullet shot and hit a 9-year-old child. This underlines again why the war on drugs needs to be ended, right? Having those type of drug raids I'm not even sure if they even found anything, but having those type of raids don't make our community safer, and policing in that type of way does not make us safer and does not make the community safer, right? And when we talk about that, sometimes we look at it in an abstract way, right? Until something like this happens, when there's a 9-year-old child, right, that was being babysit by a 12-year-old, you know what I mean? And like, imagine getting that call that your child was shot by the police, you know what I mean, when you weren't home. That does not make our community safer, right? And so we have to continue to stay engaged on what's happening, nationally, globally, but especially locally, because we all we got. But I'm a firm believer that we all we need. I also wanted to give a shout out to Yusuf Badar. We had an event, he had an event on Sunday, which was his birthday. And he's another organizer and activist that we've seen at some of our protests. And he announced that he would be running for Congress as an independent in 2022. And so, know that there's progressive leaning voices that are getting out there, and we are going to be heard. And so that's a very good thing. But we are going to continue to fight for our brothers and sisters, to prevent these negative things from happening, and to fight like hell for justice when they do happen.
All right, and look, Julian, and I just wanted to add on for Victor Dale Jr., and he has a beautiful support team too. So we love Victor. We love, is it Sheree? And everybody that loves Victor Dale, we love you too. Let's keep the heat on. We're not done yet, all right? We're just getting started. Speaking of getting started, I wanted to bring Jody in with our 5 minutes of heat.
Okay.
I don't know what he has planned for us. I think he talked about it in the first half.
I said stuff. Well, wait, let's make sure. Ruth, you got anything else to add?
Did we miss Ruth?
No, I was there.
Okay.
I know. But I mean,
bring her in.
we've had historic moments, so
Make sure that you visit CSRN.com and you visit the CSRN shop, and that you donate to CSRN. You can donate on Cash App at CSRN 419. You can donate on PayPal at paypal.me/CSRN 419.
Well, it looks like when Ruth's head came into the scene, it looked like an eclipse. Where did I go? All right, I know. Hey, listen, as always, as being on the forefront of non-traditional, we even end our meetings lit, all right? So we're going to have Jody Summers, Child of the System, Tears of the Wounded, Let's Eat, all of his businesses, he, him, and them, and they. Jody, what do you have for us for 5 minutes?
So, somewhat of a little intro to this, because again, this piece, I got the news the other day that this is one of two pieces about Black Lives Matter, about Black culture, that have been accepted into an anthology, which will be spread all around the world for not only the work that we do, but to get others to come to the field. This is it's not a job, it's not a career, it's something that you make sacrifices to do. So this is the piece about us called Beat the Drum. And a quick 2 minutes before that, I know we're celebrating in the streets. I know it's celebrated all over the world, and we have moved a tyrant out of the office. No matter how many times he wants to revote or recount the vote. And you can check back on how I feel on this in a piece that is in Tears of the Wounded, Volume 2, called Dear Mr. Trump. As I said, when I wrote all of that stuff 3 years ago, almost everything has come true. Pandemical Revolution, the illustration that I created about 2020 and everything, those will be going on our website soon. And all of the other illustrations will be available for purchase, with proceeds going directly towards our movement very soon. What I do want to say is don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Don't celebrate to the point to where you forget that these people are still politicians.
Yep.
I love the historic fact that now not only people of my skin tone can look up and see themselves in the highest office, but little brown and black girls and people of color can look up and see themselves in the second highest office. And that means a lot to future generations. But again, do not forget that these people are politicians. Do not forget to hold them accountable when 6 months go by and nothing has changed. When people are still being locked up, shot in the streets, and nothing is being done to the initiatives that got them elected. So, 5 minutes of heat is called beat the drum. What we do when things get out of control and we have to turn to ourselves. Let's begin peace. So we did it anyway, without sponsors, without handouts, without corporate entities. No sheep leading the blind, no waiting for permission or asking if it was safe for us to be free. We did it our way, respecting our elders and learning lessons from the footsteps in their wake, researching copious amounts of literature, absorbing film left by history and the memories of whitewashed books. We made mistakes along the way, taking note every time we failed to reach our community in just the right way, speaking to people who were not quite ready to hear their voice of change, putting our lives, reputations, and privacy at risk just to see another soul be safe. We inspired generations every time we wouldn't go away. Hands up, don't shoot, I can't breathe. All Black Lives Matter, each and every day. Say their name, say their name, say their name. Resist, resist, resist. We watched in horror as verdict after verdict was dismissed. So we took to the streets, flooded the courtrooms, built bridge after bridge connecting organizations to the people who were told that outrage would just fade away. We took our losses with visible wounds to show the world you could live through the pain and still make a difference by standing true. We wanted to change the world, or at least the tint it looked through. So we forced it to look at every shade, shape, size, age, and dream. Because life is beautiful, and so are you. We make note of the memories that live in our history and celebrate the culture that brings us closer to our destiny. Individuality must be true within you, but never forget, unity also has to be a part of you too. So we did it anyway, and we plan on doing so much more, because injustice still exists today, and we won't just close our doors. Ashe.
Ashe.
In peace.
Oh, yeah.
Before we close out with the pledge, Julian,
Yeah.
anything that you think that we missed, Ruth? Anything that you think that we missed before we close out?
Yo, so one of the three women that started Black Lives Matter, well, the three women that are Ova Tameti, Alicia Garza, and oh my gosh, now I'm going blank. Alicia Garza's book, Pick It Up, The Purpose of Power. I actually just finished it, and it's really good. There's a lot of good things about how this movement started, and it's really good.
Okay, all right. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Erica at WTVG. We came together today and did a short clip on the billboard. I don't know
Awesome.
when that airs, but if it does, we'll just put it on our page and check that out.
Awesome.
My announcement is that Patrice Cullors is the third woman who started Black
Jeez.
Lives Matter.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah, I was telling him in his ear.
Uh-huh,
He
uh-huh.
kept moving away.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, we can end our meeting
Go ahead,
with the
Ruth.
Solidarity Pledge. Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Say your name.
Brother
Julian.
Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to
To
strive
love my brothers and my sisters.
to love my brothers and my sisters
As I love myself.
as I love myself.
I.
Aye.
Say your name.
Jason.
Brother Washington.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive
To study to improve myself.
to study to improve myself
Spiritually
spiritually,
mentally,
morally,
and physically,
physically,
for the benefit of myself,
for the benefit of myself,
my family,
and
my people.
my people.
I say your name,
Brother
and
sister.
pledge to strive
Pledge to strive
to be a part of the solution,
to be a part of the solution,
the process,
the process,
and not the problem.
and not the problem.
I say your name,
Brother
Washington.
pledge to strive
Pledge to
to
strive
give all that I can spare
to give all that I can spare
of my time,
of my time,
my strength, and energy
and energy
to achieve
to
the
achieve
above said.
The above said.
Now give yourselves a round of applause.
Good job.
all power to the people.
Rough.
All right. Oh.